1. A DEA instructor designing a diversion control lesson for new analysts wants to ensure adult learners stay engaged. Which approach aligns best with adult learning principles? A. Delivering content strictly through long lectures without breaks. B. Providing real case scenarios requiring learners to solve diversion tracking challenges. C. Requiring learners to memorize diversion codes without context. D. Limiting learner discussions to avoid off topic dialogue. 2. When evaluating trainee competency in controlled substance security protocols, which method provides the most reliable assessment? A. A short trivia quiz on general drug policy history. B. A performance-based simulation of a facility inspection. C. An open discussion on why security matters. D. A worksheet asking learners to list DEA-required vault specifications. 3. During curriculum planning for a course on record-keeping compliance, which step helps ensure alignment with DEA regulatory requirements? A. Reviewing only internal agency training manuals. B. Benchmarking lessons against the official DEA record-keeping regulations. C. Modeling lessons after private sector warehouse training. D. Prioritizing engaging activities over regulatory accuracy. 4. An instructor notices trainees struggling to understand chain of custody procedures. Which corrective action supports learner comprehension? A. Repeating the same lecture verbatim. B. Providing a visual workflow and a hands-on evidence handling demo. C. Reducing training time to avoid overloading learners. D. Switching to unrelated examples for variety. 5. A communication best practice when briefing pharmacy managers on controlled substance ordering rules is A. Using highly technical jargon to demonstrate expertise. B. Providing clear, concise explanations with practical examples. C. Emphasizing consequences only without describing compliance steps. D. Sending a long memo without opportunities for questions. 6. Which approach best supports mentoring a new compliance inspector on conducting DEA audits? A. Allowing the trainee to observe one audit, then work entirely alone. B. Providing structured feedback after each inspection component. C. Encouraging the trainee to rely solely on written manuals. D. Limiting communication to avoid overcoaching. 7. When teaching procedures for handling suspicious order reports, which strategy increases learner retention? A. Presenting unrelated case studies for comparison. B. Using authentic suspicious order data to practice decision-making. C. Showing a documentary about drug trafficking trends. D. Asking learners to summarize a long policy chapter. 8. When evaluating a trainee's ability to identify violations during a mock investigation, the most valid assessment tool is A. Multiple choice questions about investigation history. B. Direct observation using a standardized scoring rubric. C. A reflective journal describing how they felt. D. A worksheet listing types of violations. 9. A DEA course developer wants to ensure instructional materials remain current. What is the most critical step? A. Updating materials only when trainees request it. B. Reviewing new DEA regulations and integrating changes regularly. C. Keeping older materials to preserve consistency. D. Replacing content based on instructor preference. 10. An instructor teaching controlled substance inventory verification should begin by A. Providing learners with complex statistical formulas. B. Explaining the purpose and legal foundation of inventory requirements. C. Showing unrelated agency success stories. D. Asking learners to guess why inventories matter. 11. When delivering a briefing on opioid theft reporting procedures, effective communication requires A. Describing all procedures at once without pausing. B. Arranging steps in clear order with examples of compliant reporting. C. Minimizing questions to stay on schedule. D. Using complicated diagrams to appear authoritative. 12. A mentor supporting a new diversion investigator can improve skill development by A. Assigning increasingly challenging tasks while offering guided support. B. Directing the trainee to review manuals without practice. C. Preventing the trainee from making decisions to avoid mistakes. D. Allowing the trainee to observe but never participate. 13. In program evaluation, which finding most strongly indicates training effectiveness? A. Learners report enjoying the classroom environment. B. Trainees demonstrate accurate completion of regulatory tasks during simulations. C. Participants compliment the instructor's delivery style. D. Learners request more breaks. 14. When constructing curriculum on controlled substance destruction protocols, the developer should A. Start with objectives tied directly to DEA destruction regulations. B. Add activities first, then create objectives later. C. Copy lessons from unrelated safety programs. D. Remove compliance components to simplify the course. 15. To improve retention of procedures for filing Form 106 reports, the instructor should A. Provide step-by-step guided practice with sample incident data. B. Assign long readings without explanation. C. Rely solely on video demonstrations. Ask learners to memorize regulatory citations. 16. Which communication approach best supports pharmacy practitioners during compliance outreach? A. Giving lengthy speeches with minimal structure. B. Presenting key steps clearly and inviting questions. C. Avoiding real examples to reduce complexity. D. Emphasizing penalties without giving guidance. 17. A new investigator is unable to correctly identify incomplete controlled substance records. A mentoring-supported fix would be A. Demonstrating examples, then reviewing the trainee's attempts. B. Assigning only textbook reading. C. Avoiding feedback so the trainee learns independently. Removing the task from the trainee's responsibilities. 18. For assessing whether learners can conduct accurate inventory counts, the strongest method is A. Asking trainees to verbally describe the process. Observing them complete an inventory using actual or simulated stock. C. Giving a written quiz about terminology. D. Asking for a self-evaluation. 19. During diversion case training, which method aligns most with adult learners' need for relevance? A. Reviewing outdated enforcement cases. B. Using case files reflecting current diversion methods. C. Presenting hypothetical scenarios unrelated to the field. D. Starting with abstract theories before practical application. 20. When updating outreach curriculum for healthcare providers, regulatory accuracy is preserved by A. Consulting the latest DEA practitioner guidelines. B. Relying on previous curriculum versions. C. Removing regulatory details to reduce complexity. D. Using only anecdotal information from providers. 21. Which instructional strategy best supports understanding of suspicious order thresholds? A. Having learners guess thresholds through trial and error. B. Providing data sets and guiding calculation practice. C. Showing only a high-level overview without specifics. D. Listing thresholds without context. 22. A DEA instructor evaluating communication skills during mock inspections should A. Score only technical knowledge. B. Use a rubric to assess clarity, professionalism, and accuracy. C. Ignore communication skills as irrelevant. D. Rely on general impressions without documentation. 23. A new compliance auditor benefits most from mentoring when A. Feedback is timely, specific, and tied to audit standards. B. Feedback is delayed until the end of the month. C. Feedback is vague and general. D. Feedback is withheld to promote independence. 24. An instructor delivering a course on online pharmacy regulations engages adult learners by A. Encouraging analysis of real enforcement actions. B. Reading the statute verbatim without examples. C. Avoiding learner questions. D. Providing only theoretical explanations. 25. When measuring skill mastery for preparing DEA required biennial inventories, the most accurate assessment is A. A multiple choice quiz on definitions, B. A timed hands on inventory practice, C. A group discussion about the history of inventories, D. A written reflection. 26. To improve clarity when teaching drug ordering limits, the instructor should A. Present the limits step by step with realistic examples, B. Deliver limits in a single long paragraph, C. Avoid using examples to save time, D. Use technical jargon to sound authoritative. 27. A curriculum developer ensures alignment by A. Mapping each lesson objective to specific DEA compliance competencies, B. Choosing topics based solely on learner interest, C. Designing activities before setting objectives, D. Ignoring regulatory documents to avoid complexity. 28. When evaluating a trainee's skill in interviewing registrants, the most valid assessment is A. Watching the trainee conduct a structured mock interview, B. Asking the trainee to summarize interview theory, C. Letting the trainee read interview transcripts, D. Having them complete a multiple choice quiz. 29. A mentor helps a new investigator analyze red flags by A. Modeling the analysis process and having the trainee apply it to real examples, B. Avoiding hands on practice, C. Allowing only passive observation, D. Reviewing mistakes without demonstrating corrections. A DEA instructor ensures effective communication by A. Organizing information logically and pausing for clarification, B. Delivering information rapidly to cover more topics, C. Limiting opportunities for questions. Using slides with excessive text. 31. When training practitioners on record-keeping violations, the most engaging approach is A. Providing real violation examples for learners to resolve, B. Listing violation categories without explanation, C. Showing unrelated enforcement statistics, D. Reviewing long legal text without context.